What is going on, guys? So today I want to talk about Andrew Yang, the Democrat Party presidential candidate that has been garnering a lot of unlikely support from white nationalists. Hey, wait, that's not the guy. No, but seriously, unless you have been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure by now you've heard of the name Andrew Yang already. In this video, I would like to address how some of Andrew Yang's policies has made it particularly attractive towards the new right or the alt-right. Here are two names you don't often hear next to each other: Elon Musk and Richard Spencer. Now, of course, everybody knows Elon Musk. He's a huge technological innovator, just the legendary CEO of our time. And what about Richard Spencer? Well, in my opinion, I believe Richard Spencer has been the creation of the mainstream media by giving him huge amounts of attention ever since he voiced his support for the 2016-2017 Trump campaign, which catapulted him into fame and turned him into the de facto leader and spokesperson of the American white nationalist movement. Obviously, unlike Elon Musk, when Richard Spencer voiced his support for Andrew Yang's campaign, that's going to seriously result in some bad press from the mainstream media. However, that doesn't stop with him. There are several other very prominent people in the white nationalist movement that also voiced their support for Andrew Yang, and that includes David Duke, Andrew Anglin, and Greg Johnson. So what is it that makes all these evil, big, bad, extremist neo-Nazis support an Asian Democrat, you might ask? Could it be the theory of accelerationism, where if you just keep voting for the left and let them carry out whatever lunatic and unsustainable plans they have, it will lead to the collapse of society and economy, to the point that right-wingers will gain total victory and come out to sweep clean the mess that has been caused by the liberals? Although that's a very simple and straightforward explanation, I do think the truth is more nuanced than that. I do think there's some legitimacy with these white nationalist leaders casting their support for Andrew Yang. The main reason being that Yang is actually willing to talk about some of the unique problems facing white working class males that many other candidates from both the Republican and the Democrat side have never even mentioned about. The biggest one being automation and how it affects truck drivers, for example, a predominantly white male-dominated job, under threat by Silicon Valley elites and tech companies that seek to reduce their expenses, and to the point they want to completely eliminate these jobs through automation. This is where Andrew Yang's universal basic income comes in. Not only the 1,000 Yang bucks a month would totally help out these truck drivers and their families to at least soften the landing a little bit, and also it gives a reason to increase the taxes on these tech companies to fund this universal basic income program. He has also went on to extensively address the problem with mental health and how it would have very dangerous effects on oneself and society as a whole if it's not being solved correctly, due to the fact that many have already been laid off thanks to automation, and we're already seeing a lot of them have reduced means to support themselves and their families, with existing government programs unable to provide any real support in the long term. Another big reason that pushes white nationalists into the Andrew Yang camp is because of Trump himself. So far, he has been a huge disappointment to anyone that voted him into office based on the issue of demographics. From not implementing the Muslim immigrant ban, to giving amnesty to illegal migrants, to failing to pull out troops from Syria, as well as the biggest one being unable to secure the funding to build the border wall, even after all this time. Especially, it was only until recently that he finally made a veto, his first presidential veto, against the Congress in an attempt to secure the funding. As 2019, Trump doesn't have that much time left in office, and so far, he's been a complete disappointment to a large number of his most staunch supporters. Should Trump continue to do nothing or very little to fulfill his campaign promises, then I do see in the upcoming Democrat primaries that Andrew Yang will gain a powerful ally just from the sheer discontent with Trump, who feels less and less like the guy who's going to be anti establishment and drain the swamp, but more and more like someone who is part of the establishment, just being a little bit more willing to make a compromise to the right wing. In conclusion, I think things are looking very well for Andrew Yang right now, provided that his campaign management team does not shoot themselves in the foot and become obsessed with trying to denounce their support from these evil, racist neo-Nazis and just focus on being strategic. So what do you guys think about Andrew Yang right now? Leave a comment below, and for myself, well, I'm off the Trump train and I'm hopping on that Yang Gang shit.